Greetings, and welcome to Gloomwood. This is an upcoming survival horror stealth adventure, which has been described as being, among other things, a spiritual successor to Thief, which obviously caught my attention. It has no release date as of yet, but this demo has been out for quite a while now, and I figured since I'll likely wanna do a series on it, I may as well play the demo. So today, I'll try to ghost it to the best of my ability, showcase the game, and discuss what my playstyle will be. I've drafted a list of rules that I'll try to adhere to, but in short, ghosting means not getting detected and not taking anyone out, which in this game basically means no kills, as there are no non-lethal options. And I'll discuss it in more detail as we go along. Alright, let's begin. So one of the rules is that I have to play on the highest difficulty, Blood Moon, and its description brings up a few points I want to talk about. So scarce resources, high enemy presence, high enemy damage are all self-explanatory, but guard vision cones are actually the best way to explain how enemy alertness in this game works. So when they're active, vision cones can be of 3 different colors, which kinda implies that the guards can have 3 different alertness states. When they're green, they're completely unaware of a presence. When they're yellow, the guards are suspicious, and when they're red, they are in full-on combat mode. However, the suspicious state seems to have 2 degrees to it. Guards can either look around and then continue with their routine, or they can actually raise their weapons and start searching the area. So I'll refer to these as minor and major suspicious state, and for my run, I'm gonna allow the former, but not the latter. So when I hear guards alerting, I'm gonna have to look at them to see how suspicious they are. And finally, we can only save at phonographs, which, yeah, this game has no quick saving. And if you know me, you know I'm a massive save scammer, so this has already changed how I have to approach the game, and it's been interesting. Right. Let's embark. Doctor, apologies that I could not encounter you in person. For now, take this vial and find a way into the manor on the main street. I await your arrival, G. So the vial is a healing item, I'm not gonna need that. Now, I've disabled all the tutorials, but the one that pops up right before this door is actually really important. So if I press my use key, I'm simply gonna open it, but if I hold it, I'm gonna open it slowly. And this will become crucial, because guards can actually hear and alert to doors. At the bottom right is what's pretty much a light gem. Should be self-explanatory. And here is the only weapon I'm gonna need in this run, the Cane Sword. And with it, we can access a few secret areas here. So here's a gold coin, and there are 15 of these scattered throughout the demo. And if you get them all and use them on a special door, you'll get access to kind of a secret area. And I'm gonna do that because there is an actual tangible benefit to it. So to get the second one, we have to backtrack a little. Here's the second coin. Here we also have a gun, but I won't need any firearms in this run. And here is how we save the game. Here's the third coin. This door is locked, but the key is in the kitchen. And a quick word about these guys. They are called huntsmen, by the way. In the demo, they don't speak, you can only hear them breathing, and if they notice you, they'll groan. In the full game, they'll have actual voices, which I'm really excited for. Here we can access a secret passage, which I'll explore later. Here is coin number 4. And here is the manor we have to access. But we'll have to first find 2 seals to remove this magical barrier. Grab a key like this, which will unlock this door. Here is another coin. Let's read this. Report on Manor Sylvia. Captain, the man managed to confiscate one of the seals required to negate dark magics blocking Lady Sylvia's doors. We've reason to believe the foreigner is planning to take refuge within the Countess's high walls. The seal has been placed in a jailhouse evidence locker. As for the other seal, it continues to evade us. A local resident, who once worked as a manor's servant, claims it was lost during the last flood and may have fallen to the tunnels beneath the district. As such, we have several men searching around the cistern entrance by the docks. Our eyes remain open, Night Watcher Ramsey. Here we can open the gates to the docks and the jailhouse. I only need this one open. And there is another huntsman who patrols this street. I'll have to wait for him to come here. There he is. So here is the jailhouse gate, which I just opened. This place we can't access now, but I wanna get a coin here. And the jailhouse I won't explore just yet. Instead, I'll use this secret passage to return to the house with the phonograph. And there is also a monocle here, with which you can zoom in on stuff. And another coin. So I'm gonna save my game and continue with the jailhouse. Interesting. This sack teleported back to where it was after I loaded the game. In here, I want to open this cell, because there is a coin inside. There it is. However, I've never been able to get it without getting this guy suspicious. But if I'm fast enough, I should be able to get it with only a minor suspicion, so let's see. So if he doesn't start patrolling here, I should be good. Now the other huntsman who patrols this corridor will notice this gate being open. So I want to wait for him to come back here and leave again, so that I can open it, grab the emblem, and close it before he has a chance to alert. So I can reach this from here. There we go. Got the emblem of the rat. That's one of the two we're gonna need. Now the key on the table here I'm not gonna take, I don't need it, but I'll show you which door it unlocks in a couple of minutes. Let me read this. The constables can't keep doing this. This is the third broken rifle this week. It's bad enough that we have to guard our own district. They claim they lack the manpower, but we've seen how the upper city estates are protected. No expense was spared for their equipment and fancy automated security devices. Now the only firepower we have access to are these shoddy leftover munitions they gave us. These rifles break and jam if you just look at them too hard, and many of us have resorted to using our wood-cutting axes just to fill in the gaps. How are we supposed to stop the beasts now? Do they want our district to become like the suit works? Here's another coin. I'm liking the sound propagation so far. I can pinpoint where the guards are based on their footsteps. So when they'll have idle chatter, it'll be just perfect. So the key I skipped on the table unlocks this door, and it'll take you to the starting area where I picked up the cane sword. Let's make another save here and move on. Here is the docks gate, which I said I don't have to open. And that's because I can simply drop into the water here. And nobody alerts that, which I actually really like. In Thief, I can't stand it when I have to drop into the water and there is someone nearby, because there is no way to do it silently. Attention! By order of the constabulary, all entries to the city sewers are to be closed and boarded off. Several city servants and officers report of beastly infestations plaguing the tunnels. Any persons found to be breaking quarantine will face legal ramifications, and the constabulary will not expend brave officer lives to rescue them. So we're gonna have to get in here, which means we have to break at least one of these boards. Luckily, when that guy is all the way over there, he won't hear that. This gate disappears. And here's another coin. Here is a gate labeled Fresh Fish, and you can actually get into that area. I'll show you the lever which opens this gate, but I'm not gonna go there myself. Also, I think I bypassed a trigger that sends one of these guys on patrol. Shipping manifest. 9 AM timber from Tithewile, 2 crates. 10 AM Blackwater Spine Gators, 1 barrel. 12 PM Ashbury, 2 barrels. 3 PM Highclef Dark Plums, 1 sack. 5 PM Goldfee from Sir Winslow, 1 sack. 6 PM Redwood Craft Side Table. Who ordered this? It's ugly as sin. So readables don't pause the game, so I have to be careful. And in this sack here is another gold coin. Here the cistern entry lever. So one thing I haven't commented on are the guards' patrol patterns. So you may notice that all of them are pretty short and simple, and on one hand, and especially given the lack of quick saving, I kinda like it because it makes it easy to gauge their patrols and where they are at all times. On the other hand, I can't help but yearn for more interesting, maybe longer and interlocking patrol patterns, but I think it's something we'll see in the full game. Here's one more coin, and we can get into the sewers and get another coin. In the sewers we're gonna meet a new enemy called the Crowman. Who you can hear straight ahead. For now it's just the noises though. Here is another coin, and I should have 13, that's right. The last one is found right before the door that we have to use them on. Cistern Gate instructions. For anyone left in this dreaded station, these levers control the pressure gates in this cistern. The levers as they run leftmost to right. Control room, storage room, main canal, pump room. If you are struggling to navigate to the corresponding gate, you can follow each of the pipes to their destination. Take care not to forget to fill the lanterns, as the crowmen have been quite aggressive lately. I've dismantled the lever to the pump room and shelved it in the storage room after the last attack. Okay, so we got 2 levers here, the third one we're gonna have to find. There is a phonograph in that boarded up room, but to gain access to it I'd have to break the boards and that'll alert the huntsman, and it's just unnecessary. So now the crowmen are here. Here's the lever. And over here is a tiny switch. And the lever labeled fresh fish. So that's what opens the gate I showed you earlier. I love the music here. Right, so let's plug this in. This one I can close. Right, straight ahead is where we have to go, but we can also jump off here. And get to that secret room I was talking about. So here's the last coin. The word of tonight's happenings will be reaching the High Manor soon. She will no doubt be displeased. I have managed to find an isolated place to camp and observe his movements. I have my guesses as to who brought him here, but I need proof. Fortunately, the outsider has yet to spot me from the rooftops. There is something about him, the way he harnesses the shadow and the sword. It reminds me of my first time in the city all those years ago. It will only be a matter of time before he realizes the streets are too dangerous and we start sharing the parapets above. I'll see what he is truly capable of then. It's time to begin. And the main reason I wanted to get all the coins is this phonograph. So now we're coming up on the climax of the demo. Gotta go down this hole, and it's a pretty dangerous area. So there is a huge room, it's full of crowmen, and it has two levels. The bottom level, which is flooded, and the upper level. And it's very dark here, so it's real easy to fall off from the upper level, and it took me quite a bit of trial and error to figure out how to best approach it. Although you cannot see it, if I move slightly to the left here, I'm gonna fall off and make noise. Here's our second emblem, the emblem of the crow. And to get out of here, I'm gonna have to use this elevator, which you call using that lever. Now this will be my only unavoidable ghost bust in this run, but it's a pretty sizable one. Once the elevator reaches the bottom, the alarm will go off, and it will alert every single crowman down here. And that's okay, just like in Thief, if a bust can't be avoided, you just take it and move on with your run. I wouldn't under any circumstances ask for this sequence to be removed or anything, but I feel like there is one aspect of it that could be a little better. Once the alarm goes off, the crowman will immediately know where I am. So if I call the elevator down and go to the opposite side of the room, once the alarm goes off, all the crowmen will immediately run towards me and not towards the source of the noise. And that feels a little unfair and not very believable, if I'm honest. So I'm hoping that sequences like this in the full game will be a little more fair to the player. So the best course of action here is to call the elevator and stand as close to it as possible, so that I can get out of here before they even have a chance to see me. Now you might also be asking if it's really necessary to use the elevator. Maybe I could have gotten out the same way I came in. And I will say, in theory, that might be possible with a high enough crate stack. But there are two big problems with that. Firstly, the surface under that hole is slanted, so building any kind of crate stack is really cumbersome. Secondly, it's pitch black in there, so you can't even see what you're doing. And with all the crowmen roaming around, you can't use your lantern. So I tried for a little bit, I didn't get very far. So yeah, in theory, maybe it's possible, but it's not at all practical. I know the full game is supposed to have kind of an equivalent of rope arrows, some sort of grappling hook rifle, so maybe if I had one of those... But yeah, now we're back in the city, in a familiar area. And we can finish this. So yeah, I'm really impressed with Gloomwood so far. The movement feels good, controls are responsive, the stealth is great, feels fair and consistent, the level design, and I can only comment on the demo map, but I like how it constantly loops back on itself and how you're never too far from a phonograph. I'm thinking that's kind of an approach that the entire game will take.
Inside at last, are you? Welcome.
So yeah. I don't think the game will feature a typical mission-to-mission structure like Thief does. I think it will be semi-open world, or maybe it will be somewhere in between, kind of like Thief Deadly Shadows. But regardless, I'm really excited to see more. So, thanks for watching. Next, I'm going back to some more Thief fan missions, so see you guys soon, and take care!